and welcome to Vault Boys WV. This is your card-carrying cryptozoologist, Dave Chaffins, and joining me is my favorite son of a Mothman, Austin O'Connor. Austin, what's good in the neighborhood?
What's going on, man? I love that you still remember that. It's in your memory forever that you can just go through that intro and not have to look at anything anymore.
Yeah, I don't have to look at anything for that. That's always on the back burner in my head. If somebody stopped me in public and they're like, "Quick, do this," I'm gonna be like assaulting people with my hello. My hello is pretty aggressive in general.
The hello is very aggressive. I remember when we started it, it's like every week it got more and more aggressive. Well, but I mean, I remember the days when you used to have to read the intro, and look how far we've come.
That's true. And then I would screw it up.
Way.
I would read wrong, and I'd be like, the number of takes that we had to do for that were like, "Hello, welcome to Doys Desterdridi." Like my favorite.
Now look at this. You built your way up. We can do this live now.
Yeah.
The confidence that you have just grown.
Yeah. Each week is an improvement of the live stream, by the way, which we are now doing Wednesdays at 5. That's one of the announcements that we have.
Yeah.
Last week it was bare bones and video. Now we have, fortunately I know a guy that's a photographer and a videographer, and I was like, hey, I wonder if we could get some like nice background photos. I'm not trying to I'm not over here trying to ninja chop this, the stream. Ninja chopping is what I call somebody that's really good at Twitch, but it's also a throwback to the Redneck Ninja, who's from Boone County, West Virginia. I'm not.
Is that officially? Is that a real thing?
Yeah, you remember?
Is that confirmed?
Yeah, he's from Boone County.
I didn't know he was from West Virginia.
Yeah, Diamond Dave.
Oh wow.
I mean,
Diamond Dave.
And then he says,
Diamond Dave.
Get yourself a can of tobacco, put it in your hand, throw it, Ninja Star.
The effect that had on society, just like culturally at that point in time, that was like early YouTube, wasn't it? Like 2006, 2007 YouTube.
Yeah, it was early.
That was when it was like still a TV icon on your iPhone. Like that was the YouTube icon.
Correct.
It was like a little old fashioned TV set. Golly.
I mean, I'm trying to think. Like that was one of the first like big YouTube things, that was popular on.
There was that. Evolution of Dance. Remember that one?
Evolution
of Dance. The guy
Dance.
Going through like every era. It was like him on stage at like some talent show or something that had like, that was probably, I feel like that was like the first viral video.
I think you're right.
To me.
Yeah.
That was big. That was like everybody, you would get on like the Dell in high school or something, and everybody was getting on YouTube, and that was like one of 5 videos that people actually watched.
Yeah. We used to watch a lot of that. What was his name? Ray William Johnson. And he had like, if you watch that stuff now, it's like, it's so dated because it's like epic fails, and this week's epic fail is and like
that was the thing back then.
Right, back in the day, that was like a new thing. That was like nobody. It's so overused now that nobody's saying any of that kind of stuff. But somebody's.
Remember when they used to say that you got pwned? Remember that? That was a thing at one point that people actually said non-ironically.
Yeah.
You got pwned.
Yeah, I do remember that.
What a time to be alive. We've really lived through some rough times.
We've lived through we're living through 4 decades, man. 4 decades.
Yeah.
4 decades. I mean, we're young in comparison to some, but in comparison to some, we're old. I mean, and that goes the same for anyone,
That's true.
Well,
Anymore. I can't keep up with everything now, and the trends and the everything that's hip. And I always told myself, like when we were in high school, I was like, "Oh, we're gonna be cool when we get older." Like there's no way we're not cool. We're 27, 28.
Yep.
I feel like I'm already out of the loop on half the things that happen. My mom sometimes will ask me what something means, and I have to just be honest with her. I'm like, I don't know. I have no idea. Couldn't tell you.
I don't have any clue.
That's defeating. That's a defeating feeling.
We're going to get to more of that, I think, later on in the episode. But for now, I get to introduce some new segments to the show today. Last week was kind of a free-form episode in which we just caught up. It was just great to be back. We were just celebrating seeing each other again. But this week, we've got some interesting segments. And I don't have any music. Normally I have some music, some openers. But you got to understand. we're starting from, this is a new run. It's like you've been playing that Hades game, or you've been playing, I don't know, what is that, Call of Duty, Warzone, and we're landing on the map, and you only got a pistol. You only got a pistol, and you're trying to get the rest of your equipment together. That's kind of where we're at here.
We started very basic, kind of bare bones, just had to get it up and running. But hey, look, we already have a better aesthetic behind us here. Looks a little more pretty, and I mean,
I love being pretty.
Right first time.
Being pretty.
Yeah, I know you do.
Being pretty is crazy. So here's another thing that I'm going to do. This is the power of technology. I'm going to call out some of our Twitch chat here, which is a thing that we have now. Ash Deezy in the chat.
Wow.
Yeah, I know, it's amazing. Ash Deezy in the chat says, "I'm 36, but I'm still cool, right? Right, guys? Right?"
If you want to be cool, you're cool.
Listen,
who are we to tell you that you're not?
Listen, cool is all about. Here's what I learned in college: is if you just sit in a corner and you don't talk, then there's some like mysterious quality to you. And eventually, 2 years, you're not going to have any friends. But on your third year, you're going to be the mysterious guy in the corner, and they're going to be like, "Hey, that guy's pretty cool." I mean, that's not great life advice, but if you want to be cool in a long-term progression, that's where that's at. Anyways, I don't know where I'm going with this. Back to the subject at hand.
I don't. Do we ever know where you're going with it?
No, I never know.
That's the fun part about you.
That is the fun part.
We never know where you're going with it.
Yeah. Next, we've got a new segment, a brand new segment. I'm trying to get there. It's called $1 Million Ideas. And yeah.
You hit me with this like 10 minutes before we were going to start the show, so... Yeah,
I want to always start us with something light and easy. So this segment's going to change up based on the day. Today's $1 Million Ideas. So I challenge you, Austin Timothy O'Connor.
That's not my middle name.
Austin Rebarb O'Connor.
We have the same middle name. You know that, right?
That's the joke.
We've been okay. I just didn't know if you genuinely
forgot it. You're Austin. It turned out, dear listeners, that we are indeed probably related as we go back, which is funny because we did a.
You're related to everybody, though. Every time I would bring up somebody, I'm actually a distant cousin.
Yeah. Abraham Lincoln
every week.
John Wayne. I mean, of course, there's the Devil Ants. We could go down the list.
Yeah.
$1 Million Ideas is where I challenge you to come up with the next greatest idea. Essentially, the rules are you have unlimited budget, but you've got to be able to make essentially a lot of money back on your $1 Million idea. So you have if you had $1 million, what would you go and make that would, then make a bunch of money?
See, you didn't tell me all that. You just said $1 million idea.
Yeah,
my budget. I was shooting low with the budget.
No. I mean, you can do whatever. I mean, I guess mine could be modulated. But I will go first in this wonderful segment.
I was gonna say, please go first, because depending on what you say, I don't know which ideas I'm gonna throw out that I had to put together in like 5 minutes. And
I've always wanted to do
your $1 million plan.
I've always wanted to do a horror movie. That's something that I've always wanted to do. And I've been thinking, nobody is doing a lot of body horror stuff. So like old school, like David Lynch, like kind of weirdness. If it's body horror, it's like, they got their head chopped off, or they got their their fingers snapped one at a time or whatever. So imagine this, okay? A movie. It's a horror movie set in a haunted house. The people that live in this house turn into fixtures within the house, like beds, like clocks, like chandeliers. And then I had that idea, and I was like, that's Beauty and the Beast, right? Then that's like,
I guess.
Then that's like the crossover between Disney and horror. It's like a horror movie where the premise is, this is like a Beauty and the Beast house, except like the family that moves in previously, it's like they could be a bed. And so like when people are sleeping in the bed in the house, it's like a person, but they don't know. Isn't that creepy? Yeah. Yeah, that is
Is this where
creepy.
your mind goes at night before you go to sleep?
Yeah,
You just start thinking about these things.
Yeah, this is what I dream about. Is I dream about
This is way better than my idea.
this I dream about this house, and like imagine it's like whatever you were like really into. Like let's say that you had a pool table like down in your basement or whatever, and then it's like the guy really likes to play pool,
Yeah.
but then he became the pool table.
Pool table.
Yeah.
Ooh. Mm.
And then
Okay.
like there's
Actually, that sounds like that's already just that brief description
Yeah.
there is creepy enough.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's
it's my $1 million idea.
Ugh.
I
I like that.
I need $1 million, but then I could go make another million.
So that was great.
Yes, I'm prepared for
Mine.
something even better.
No. Yeah, when you said $1 million idea, I just started thinking of random things. I didn't know that we were gonna be like making horror movies and you had written a script and whatnot.
Yeah,
My first thing that I thought of 10 minutes before the show when you told me what we were doing
I'm
was
ready.
a toilet that you can sit on backward and be more comfortable on in the morning when you're really tired.
Yeah.
You can lean better because if you think about it, not that I've ever sat on a toilet backward, but it doesn't seem very comfortable. And in premise, you want to like kind of just put your arms up. You can take a little nap like you did like on the desk in school.
Yeah.
But the toilet isn't built for you to sit that way. So maybe we make a hybrid toilet, like you can sit either way and you're more comfortable.
Yeah. I mean,
You set me up for failure with this one.
no.
I'm telling you right now.
This is $1 million idea. This is $1 million idea because let me blow your mind
so
right now.
embarrassing.
Let me do a little addition. So you have like your table. You're sitting backwards on your toilet. You have your little table. But what if at the other end of that there's
Yeah.
a sink and a mirror? Then you don't even have to get up. Then you're multitasking. So you can
Wow, you kill time.
right, like you can do the full brushing of the teeth while
Brush your teeth.
yeah.
Wash your face.
Yeah, but do all kinds of stuff.
Oh.
It's like a multi-purpose center. I mean, at this point, put a bidet on there. I mean, and then it's just like,
It's like a 5-in-1.
right? Yeah, it's a five
You
in
got the
one.
mirror that comes out, so you got like the
Right.
medicine cabinet there in the mirror.
Yeah, and I
This is
mean,
the future of bathrooms.
why don't we do more of that? I mean, especially
You
like
put the whole station in a shower.
right, and you already have to clean. If you're cleaning your house, you already have to have your sink cleaned and your toilet clean. But what if they were the same thing?
I don't know about.
I mean,
Well,
you would just clean one
Yeah.
thing instead of two separate things,
you'd still have to clean two separate things. It would just be in one station.
Well, yeah, but
Kinda,
but I
you know
mean,
what I mean?
if they're connected, then it's just a big thing
Yeah.
as opposed to
Seems like less work, right?
right. Yeah, I mean, when you think about surface, because the sink has that. I mean, you're coming up, so like mine is like ceramic as it comes up, and you got to
Yeah.
clean all the way up the pole. If you're like in there, if you got company coming over in like 2 hours, you're gonna clean
Yeah.
all the way up the pole, and then. I mean, if you eliminate that alone,
Yeah, that's $1 million idea right there.
I think it's great. I think you came prepared.
I'm glad that you support me. That was not much preparation. I'm glad that you support that.
I support you in everything. Everything that you do, I
Thank
support
you.
you. I'm here for you.
Thank you. It warms my heart to hear.
Yeah, if you like, by the way,
True friendship.
the photography that is behind us in the show that's kind of been rolling, it's good 5 little feature pieces. If they can see it, our beautiful heads are in
I
front
don't
of it.
know how big our boxes are. I haven't seen it yet.
They're big enough to cover it almost entirely up. But if you are curious, if you're like, I'm a curious little mouse and I want to know what's behind their little faces, then you can go to, what's your site? Give me your site. I'm setting you up. I'm lobbing you one.
It's austino'connor.smugmug.com. I have a lot of prints on there. Or you can just follow me on Instagram at oko_photo. You can see all my photography.
Gram it
and,
up.
The shenanigans I get into. But yeah, you were like, hey, we need some photos. And I was like, hey, I think I know a guy that can help out with that.
You're amazing.
So-
You're one of the most amazing people that I
Just
know.
really boosts our aesthetic a little bit. Oh,
Yeah.
Thank you. Oh my God. You're just warming my. Yeah, you can tell me that toilet idea was really bad. You don't have to like try to gas me up right now and make me feel like I'm actually bringing good ideas to the table.
I mean, I'm not trying to like flesh you out or anything,
Yeah, I've missed the dad jokes a lot. That's Jesus Christ. All right. Let's move on. Do you have another $1 million idea?
I don't have another $1 million idea. That's the segment. We are only required one.
Well, I came with two. Hold on, I came with two because I wasn't sure what the requirement was.
Okay. So you not only came.
The second one, we're getting a little more down to business here. Second one. So it's been raining a lot. It's been snowy.
Yeah.
It's been gross here. Not today. It's been warm today. But I come in my apartment. I've got these shoes on. Sometimes I'm carrying groceries. Think about that. Like, this is what this invention is mostly going to be geared toward. Your hands are full. You're bringing groceries in from the car. It's rainy. It's gross. You don't want to take your shoes off every time you come in and have to put them back on to go back out to the car.
Right.
So like when you leave a car wash and they have like the dryer over your car, it's like dries your car off as you go under. Like a little mini one of those, and you just stick your feet as you're walking. You just put your feet under it, dries your shoes off. You bring your groceries in, you go back out. You do it again when you come back in. It dries your shoes. You don't have water going all through your house. Just super dry.
I wonder if there's like it could be like a little vacuum, like you stick your foot in a little vacuum and then pull it out,
Yeah.
Like just like a little thing
like
to just
bristles and like your feet go in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like they have those
maybe
what
maybe if we get a patent, maybe in a couple years we actually add that to the toilet design too. So you can put your feet in that. It dries your feet from when you come in too, on the toilet /sink /shower /medicine cabinet.
I love it. I think it's good. I think
we could kind of expand upon that.
I think that there's already those like cups for dogs that you like have the little spikes that like clean their feet, that you like you like stick a cup up their foot and it brings it back out, and there's no more.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah. I don't know any of that, but
technology.
Yeah, right. Yeah. It's like that for humans.
Like, take that idea, but then it's like an actual, like it's blowing air, hot air. It's like a hair dryer, but like several. You just put your foot there, boom, clean,
done.
But you got to go slow. You got to go through it slow, like your car. You know how it's got like the timer?
Yeah.
You've got like 35 seconds, and it always gives me an anxiety attack. I'm like, oh God, I'm only going to get halfway through the car. You got to time it right.
Got to get it right on.
Halfway through and then run out of time. Yeah. Or the worst feeling is when you go through too fast because you think that you need to, and then by the time you're out, you still have like 20 seconds left, and you're like, that could have dried a little more, like my windshield or something.
Right.
And then out, and you're just like, I just wasted 20 seconds.
Right. And it's all about that timing.
That's a bad feeling.
It's all about the timing. And do you ever worry a little bit when you go under those dryers that like your windshield wipers might like come like slightly apart, because when you go under there, it's kind of like.
Yeah. Honestly, car washes used to terrify me as a kid, because every time the little jet would come on the side window, like hitting that really hard, I was just like, wow, this is going to shatter the window and I'm just going to get hit with suds. Like,
you're going to be sudsed up.
Like, I used to think about like Blastoise and like how it would like shoot the water really, really hard. I thought about like how the car wash was just going to like break my car window and just like give me a concussion. And I'm just going to be sitting there like passed out. That was always my fear. It still is like my irrational fear that my window is not going to be structurally sound and it's just going to blast through that.
Is that like your superhero origin story? Like one day.
This is my superhero origin story. Yeah.
The windshield breaks, the water comes in, and he was never the same.
Yeah. And I was never the same. People started noticing I was acting a little different. Man. Yeah. So that was my other idea. That was, the toilet that you can sit on backwards and be more comfortable.
Yeah.
It's like a 5-in-1. And then a shoe dryer, like a car wash dryer.
I love it. I'm all about it.
They're rough. We're gonna kind of hash these out. We'll get something.
Yeah.
We'll be on Shark Tank in like 2.5 years, trying to pitch to Mark Cuban. And
Right. And this is is all covered under our intellectual property license that we totally have.
Yeah, I hope I didn't just give someone an actual $1 million idea and we're just going to be broke boys for the rest of our lives.
Listen, if you do, just make sure to shout us out. Be like, hey, Mark Cuban, here's this great idea I came up with. Also, if you're feeling generous, you should follow Vault Boys for no reason.
I'm sure Mark Cuban would just love that. I'm sure this is his cup of tea right here.
This is his type of show.
You never know.
Next,
you never know.
In the lineup today, I have a very special segment, oftentimes in a previous podcast under the same name. We have talked about Fallout. We've talked about Fallout 76. We've talked about West Virginia. We talked about cryptids. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Last week you asked me, you had kind of set me down. You were like, what video games have you been playing during the pandemic? And I don't really have any good answers for you because I didn't, there's so many. I didn't have anything on mind. So while there is no new, I mean, there's stuff that we haven't talked about in Fallout, but that's the fish we're gonna dangle in front of the people here until we get around to fully playing through some of the stuff. But while we're figuring all that stuff out, I've invented a segment called 76 Degrees of Fallout. 76 Degrees of Fallout is a segment in which I bring you a game, and we're gonna figure out how it relates to Fallout 76. And I've picked a low ball here. I'm starting low. I'm going for
low.
I'm trying to knock a home run here. I'm not trying to connect My Little Pony to Fallout 76, though that could be a thing.
Sounds like a senior capstone research project on how to bring a theory, like some literature theory, and compare the two.
Yeah, that's pretty much what this is. I want to talk to you today about Frostpunk. Are you familiar with that term?
No, not.
No, you're not. You're not. Okay, it's not like cyberpunk, but it's.
I thought maybe that it was. Have something to do with cyberpunk. But
it just has punk.
No.
People just like saying punk after things. Frostpunk, steampunk, cyberpunk, pop punk.
Pop-punk.
Spunky punk.
Never heard that one.
That's a new one. That's what the kids are saying nowadays. Frostpunk.
$1 million idea.
$1 million idea. That's exactly what it is. Frostpunk is a city management game that I have been playing. The premise, yes,
What?
yes, it is a city management
Only you.
game. Yes.
Only you.
See, here's the thing. When I was a kid, I would play a lot of SimCity and SimCity 3000. And I mean, the best thing to do, and the best thing to do in SimCity is create a natural disaster. Bring in a tornado.
Yeah.
Bring in a lizard. Bring in something that's going to just wreck everything. The benefit of, I guess, a lot of modern city management games is there's a survival aspect to it. So Frostpunk is in a distant future. The global warming has kind of consumed the world, and everything has gotten incredibly cold. So cold that no one can survive without being near these giant heater engines. And so you find a cove that you can set your heater engine into, and you set it right in the center of where you're going to build, and it's generating fuel. You have an amount of coal in the game that it's generating. Then people live near that generator. And so they have to start collecting a lot of supplies like wood, coal, metal. There's eventually you get to some extra technology stuff that they can get into. But you build your settlement circularly. So it's like layers. It's like almost like layers of a maze. So you have your center point, and then you have the next ring. You're building your houses. Then a ring after that, you're building more houses. Maybe you're building a factory on the next ring. But as you go farther away from the engine, the colder it gets. So your people either die or are really upset that they're in the cold. So you have to build more, I guess, offshoots of the engine, but that costs more coal. So you're essentially making these people work in coal mines to fuel coal to build your settlements throughout the time frame of this game. Eventually, you get some interesting technology that lets you explore. You can see a hot air balloon that you can send out of your settlement and send it to go explore other places. Sometimes you find dead cities that people are still living in, and you're like, hey, come live in my city. Eventually, there's an event that happens in a game called a deep freeze, I think it's called, which is essentially a blizzard comes and it shuts down everything. So your coal mine shuts down, your wood shop shuts down, and you just have to button down the hatches, which is kind of
sounds like a lot.
It's like real life.
A lot going on.
It's like real life right now, especially in Texas. It is.
Yeah.
It is very much not a very happy game. Eventually, you figure out that the coal miners want to unionize, and you're like, okay, I can't have them unionizing because I need them to work more so that I can get more coal so that I can we can all survive.
This sounds like just a very exciting game.
It is a hardcore game. I guess. There's no good ending. There's no good ending.
Yeah, I was gonna say it sounds like just a happy, very just delightful game.
I guess the goal is to survive, but outside of that, there's, I mean, you can survive, but
yeah, my thing is I'm already having trouble just surviving in real life. I feel like that I need an easy survival game. I need to
you need
wow, that was
right. You need go to the fridge, get up. Yeah, it's got to eat my cheese stick and apple, and I'm feeling pretty good after that.
Is that what you think I eat? Is that what you think my diet is?
Yes, that is how I think your diet is. Yes.
You're actually not wrong. So I'll give you that.
Currently, my dogs are 100% howling at something. I'm very curious as to what that is, and I think they hear your voice. I think they hear your voice, and they want that.
They probably do.
So, how does Frostpunk connect to Fallout 76? Well, my friends, it's very simple. Post-apocalyptic game, obviously. Coal mining is such a big thing. It reminds me a lot of the ash heap within the game. You have to deal with breaking up unions, with making sure you have enough indentured servitude. Eventually, there's a point where you can do child labor. That's a thing. So, I mean, this is really reminiscent of the 1800s and early 1900s of West Virginia, of our literally darker times within the state itself.
Oh man, well. Yeah, yours is your most recently played game is a whole lot different than mine.
What is your most recently played game?
See, again, you kind of hit me with this right before we started, so I can't really. And
we're gonna figure it out. You always say that you're not prepared for things, but indeed you are.
I just piece it together as I go. That's how I live my life. I just wing it. I'm just kind of just riding the wave.
It's part of it.
All I've been playing lately, embarrassingly enough, is Fallout, which that's already, that's Fallout. I can't compare Fallout to Fallout, but I've been playing Fallout and Warzone. And I guess you could say I suck at both of them. I'm not good. I'm pretty terrible. That's a good comparison. I just rage out at both of them because I'll try to go do a quest in Fallout and just get destroyed sometimes.
Yeah, so what's
Warzone... everything's. I will say this about Warzone: most of the things are abandoned in the game. It's a vast map, and everything's just kind of empty.
I mean, things are abandoned. Yeah, I think it's an every man for himself. I often think about the Hunger Games when I think about battle royales, and I think about in the fictional novel that Katniss Everdeen is from what they would consider Appalachia within their thing. So I mean Kevin Bacon, we can Kevin Bacon this over to her back to Appalachia as far as a battle royale.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, it's true. This is just a side note. It is amazing to me how battle royale just absolutely came out of nowhere and just changed everything about gaming. Even Fallout has a battle royale. That was my other thing. I was going to say there's a battle royale in Fallout now, but it's just kind of crazy how that became the standard of multiplayer now.
Yeah.
You have to have a battle royale in video games.
I guess it started with Minecraft had a mode that was pretty popular that people would play. And then PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds, and then Fortnite, and then from Fortnite it just kind of exploded out to.
I think Fortnite, Fortnite was the one that just kind of got it, just skyrocketed into just pop culture in general. Everybody knew what Fortnite was, and I would say Ninja and some of these other big streamers helped, but I don't know. It is sometimes when I log into Fallout, it is kind of funny to see the whole battle royale mode. I forget it's there sometimes, but I from what I can see, I mean, people play it. It seems like, so that's kind of cool. I'm probably not good enough to play it without raging out, so I'm gonna stick to the one that I'm like very average at. I think I have like a 1.0 KD right now, so I'm kind of like very just normal, your everyday
you're right at
player.
You're right at top. I like the Call of Duty version. I always like playing a battle royale when it first releases, because people aren't as good or know all the strategies, and so it literally feels like a free for all. And Call of Duty, the combat is so fast paced. It's like constantly like
very fast.
Things can change very quickly. But I've played a lot more of the nuclear winter in Fallout 76. And I actually like that because the main tactic that saves you is you have to be in your team. Like, there are teams within the game. If you leave your team, you die. I've never seen like an actual, unless you're just like hiding away from people, like an actual successful solo run through of that work very well.
Yeah.
And so,
which game did you say? Which one were you talking about on this one?
The nuclear winter for Fallout, which
on
was
Fallout. Okay.
On Fallout. Yeah.
See, that's the thing. I haven't played that version. I haven't played that game mode in so long that's what I'm kind of scared of. I'm sure it's
really not that different.
At this point, I'm so late to the game. I feel like I wouldn't know when I got into Warzone, it was middle of 2020 because my other buddies had been playing it, and they were like, "Man, get back!" Because I used to just play multiplayer on Call of Duty for so long, and they were like, "No, let's play Warzone." And I was always really bad at Fortnite, so I was like, I don't want to do a battle royale. Like, that just sounds miserable. Like, I hate the battle royale mode. But Warzone, there was such a learning curve, like, because it's such a big map. You have to know the names of every location. You have to know what gun is going to be. Like, you have to have such a vast knowledge of everything in the game, and what building, what building you can jump on this to get in this back window on the second floor to flank somebody. Like, people that play it every day, it's just insane. And the skill-based matchmaking is kind of garbage. So you win one game and then they throw you in with the streamers. I think I mentioned that last week, and it's just like, this is not like, you win a game and then it's not fun for like a week until you lose enough to drop you back down with like the bots that are playing. But with Fallout, I feel like where I haven't played it, like I've only played it once, and I think I was with you when I played Nuclear Winter. And I'm like, man, I know how Call of Duty was, how intimidating it was to try to like get into this battle royale mode. So I think I'm like scared to start Fallout in the battle royale mode.
It's really
just because I'm just gonna get like pooped on trying to play. Like, it's just gonna be bad. Like, I'm just gonna die.
No, it's really not that bad, and it's pretty easy for, I think, people that don't play it to pull off a win, just because of a lot of it has to do with your drops and your loot. That if you get the right gun and the right setup, and it's color coded, so I mean, it's just whatever feels good or nice.
Yeah.
The only thing is, it's much like Halo in some aspects, where there's a lot of jumping. So if like you're shooting at somebody, everyone's gonna jump.
Yeah.
And it's just like a game where around. You're right. So I think that's
with Call of Duty, there's a lot of sliding.
Yeah.
That's kind of the thing. You do like the slide cancel, get the sprint, slide around corners and stuff. But man, I'm telling you, you get paired up with those mouse and keyboard players, and you're on a PS4. You definitely don't have, you do not have an advantage at all.
No.
Those guys can just lock on, and I'm just like, man, like, it's just so sweaty. Like, the lobbies get very sweaty, and that's what I wonder, like, with Fallout, how competitive it is, or does it seem to you like it's more of just people just get on it to have fun and that's it?
Yeah, I think that it's people that are fans of Fallout and not people that want to get really good at a battle royale.
Maybe I should try it then. Maybe that would make my stress level just decrease significantly.
Like, really, it's pretty accessible.
Yeah.
And you're thinking, like, the maps you can learn on your own time, because it's all based off of in-game locations.
Yeah,
it's not like a big like time sync of like, oh, I'm gonna drop here, but to just learn this area, it's like I can just go learn it while I'm there. I mean, crate locations, I guess, which is where you get your stuff from, you can kind of learn. But Ash Easy suggested in the chat, he said the double XP weekends bring a lot of people back, and it's a good time to
maybe that'll be when I hop back in and I'll give it another try.
Damn, I think they're doing a double gold this weekend, but I think their double XP weekend's coming up soon. I'll have to check the calendar.
But yeah, like I was saying, it's just the battle royale. It is sort of crazy how that like just kind of took over. Like it became like a cultural thing. Like everybody knew Fortnite, everybody knew these battle royale games, and I guess that almost kind of like is a good segue of how things can influence things in social media and pop culture, huh?
Yeah.
Our main topic today.
And kind of rounding off that that segment is we're gonna get back into what the kids are doing.
God,
the kids
fellow kids.
The kids, they're playing their battle royales. They're watching YouTubes. They're watching the YouTubes, and who are they watching on YouTubes? I guess Shane Dawson is still popular.
Unfortunately,
that's from my days.
Is he still popular?
I guess. I think Philip DeFranco's still making stuff. I don't know.
I like Philip DeFranco.
Yeah?
I used to watch him in like 9th grade.
Yeah.
He was always really cool.
Yeah.
But no, I think a lot of these kids now, like, unfortunately, it seems like these people like Jake Paul and all these random people that shouldn't be famous, but they are famous. Are really, I think, what's that dude's name? David Dobrik. He's really popular right now. I think I don't have an issue with David Dobrik. He seems cool.
You don't have beef with him? I mean, we can start beef in the show. We can just like automatically say
with Jake Paul.
Yeah, with the Paul brothers. Is that
Paul brothers?
Paul brothers. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a whole thing. But no, it's the kids now. It's kind of wild. Like stuff goes viral so quick. People pop out of the woodwork and they have one video that just explodes them into the stratosphere, and all of a sudden they are just famous. Like it's so crazy. Like it's the easiest time in the world to get famous right now. But at the same time, I feel like it's the hardest because there's so many people every day trying to do the same thing to get famous. So like there's so much competition right now in each whatever genre or kind of niche thing that you're doing, like to get noticed. But if you just, these kids, they do the right thing at the right time and start a career. Like it's insane to me.
Right. It's all right place, right time.
Yeah. And I think our big topic today is TikTok. Like it's been like a cultural phenomenon, I think, is TikTok.
Well, last week you were like, you were coming in here, you were like, oh, you've been on TikTok? You need to get on TikTok. You need to get on TikTok.
Yeah.
And I've never had an interest, never knew any. I mean, I knew that there were like TikToks were a thing and people did dances. That's what I was, the maximum amount that I was familiar with it.
The dances are like the thing.
The dances are the thing. Like. Yes. And so I was more from, and you were too, because we were kind of there together from the era of Vine. That was kind of
Vine was like the thing.
Vine was the thing.
Then it was gone.
Yeah.
And for the last few years, people.
What have the Viners been up to?
Vines.
I mean,
I still quote a lot of Vines. Like they were so. It was 6 seconds, but they were so iconic. Like they were so funny, and it was like those. I think Vines helped like memes evolve. Like
I would agree.
And memes kind of went hand in hand, and we started. And but a lot of people from Vine, like they started careers. Like there were some, like one of my favorites is Cody Ko. He had a Vine. Cody Ko was like a software developer. Like he made apps and like things like that for like iPhone, Android, whatever. And then had a Vine account, and now I think he's got like several million followers on YouTube. He's got a podcast. He does like comedy shows. Like Vine started a lot of these people, and now it's almost like I always looked at TikTok, and in like 2019 when it was really starting, because it used to be Musically, didn't it? That was like the name of the
I think
app.
so.
I think
I
back,
haven't,
like,
you know, I
several
haven't done
years
my
ago.
history lesson on, the development of
I'm pretty
TikTok.
sure it was. Do you remember that Musically, like when people would just like lip sync over things? Like that was the whole premise, I
I
think. Like
remember
they would do
Songify was a
little
thing,
videos.
but that was more like
Well, it was like
towards the Vine era.
this. It was just like people would. There were sound effects, like, and people would just lip
Right.
sync over it, which a lot of TikToks are now.
My
But
my
they developed into
social
TikTok, and I remember. What is it? You go first.
no
You go
no
first.
no, no my social media history ends at Vine. Like, and before that, like right
Yeah.
after Vine, Tinder started to be a thing, and by that time, I had a girlfriend who I then later on married, and I had like
Yeah.
no idea what, and then I just fell off. I didn't need it.
Yeah.
I didn't
Well,
need to anymore.
social media was my job for a couple years, so I had to like stay up on this stuff
Right.
in some ways.
I'm just a nerd in the
TikTok,
basement when it comes to my job. It's not a I'm not like out there,
no,
doing the Cupid shuffle with some, 10-year-old.
Cupid shuffle. Haven't thought about that in a few years. But
Down, do your
Vine or
thing.
TikTok when it started, in my opinion, what I saw like in 2019, it was something that I would see them posted on Twitter, and it was always something really cringe. Like people would tweet them because they would be like, "Oh my God, please look at this,"
Yeah.
and it was something really cringe or a dance or something.
The main thing that
And
I
I
saw,
hesitated. I was very resistant.
the main thing that I saw was a like people in skeleton makeup and people like cosplaying as the Joker doing these like over exaggerated dances to where they were like when
Just
they were
very
moving their mouth
cringy.
really a lot and they like moved it around. It
People
didn't seem
did-
natural.
Did you ever see the one where it was the song and it was like, why do good girls like bad guys, and like it was like the song would play and then they would like do this and they would close their camera, and when it popped back out they were in something different, and it was like this whole glow up thing. Those were the ones I would see in like 2019, and it
Yeah.
was always funny because it was very cringy. The people were serious, but it was so cringe. And then like I said, like I was hesitant, I didn't get it. I was forever saying it's not Vine, it's never going to be Vine. Like Vine was the king. And then last year when, we started doing the lockdowns and the quarantine, I finally downloaded it. And man, once I got that For You page, that algorithm right, I have no problem telling you right now that TikTok is far superior to Vine in terms of what Vine ever was. TikTok,
Yeah.
that was the worst thing I've ever said, but I also stand by it. I'm just going to say that right now. The potential that TikTok has, and the fact
potential.
that it's monetized and they're able to do these things with it, I think that's why Vine failed. Vine had so much potential, but then it just kind of just flickered out. TikTok hit the ground running and has just exploded. And you look at like I said, you get that algorithm right, you get what you want. And every day I get on there, there's something new that I think is hilarious or something that's interesting. And it is kind of the way that Vine created careers. You look at TikTok now. Look at that guy, 420 Dogface, the guy that did the cranberry commercial on the longboard.
Yeah.
With Fleetwood Mac playing in the background. I'm a 420 Dogface hipster here. I was watching him on TikTok long before that came out, but it makes me so happy to see that he got like an endorsement deal. He got money from that. Like he made enough money to like buy himself a house and a car and do promotional things and like
Right.
create a career from a 10-second video of him on a lure drinking ocean spray. Like, this is what I mean when I say like like living right now is incredible, because someone can get famous and have a Super Bowl commercial from riding a longboard in Idaho, drinking a bottle of ocean spray. Like that is how, like, it's incredible. And it's just so wild to see how much it has just like how quick this happens. Like
Right.
he posted it a week later, everybody on the planet knew who he was from that video.
Yes.
And then just like the cultural, just like the weight that it holds culturally at this point, like within 2 years of really being like an actual, like an app that people are pretty consistently using, it has become really bigger than Instagram. I think like it's kind of the top social media platform right now.
So a question from the audience here. Are you more of a TikTok maker or a TikTok watcher?
Personally, I'm more of a TikTok watcher. I actually didn't post a TikTok for months. Like after I got it, like I would just watch them. I would like them and share them with my friends. But the only ones I've ever posted have been just like travel, because I like to travel and just hike and do photography and stuff. So I posted a few just like travel videos, but man, some of the stuff I see people post with the transitions and like I can do transitions on like Premiere Pro and make like an actual video. But when I would try to make something on my phone, I have no idea what I'm doing. And these kids that are like 12 are making like professional productions on their phone. It's insane. Like it makes me think like, what is the future? Like these kids are starting so early and learning how to produce these things. It's baffling how good they are at it. But I did notice that you, once finally creating a TikTok account, you've been pretty active with the TikTok creating, I noticed.
Right. So this part of, I'm a big research proponent. And just having that documentation and having the backup when I approach something as serious as this show, I want to make sure that I put forth the effort. If I'm unaware of something, I want to be aware. I want to be in the forefront of where this is going. So I made a TikTok account. You can follow my TikTok account. It's called I'm at Davy Diggy Dog.
Oh man,
I have made 3 TikToks in the past week. Since Friday.
You've been fairly active.
I made 3.
A good upload schedule.
And I want to kind of walk you through my understanding of TikTok and what has been successful on the platform and what has been unsuccessful. And just kind of what I have seen,
You have the analytics just ready to roll.
I have the analytics ready to roll, yeah. So my first TikTok, I decided to myself, you know what people love? And you know what I love? Mandalorian. Everybody loves Mandalorian. Everybody's talking about Mando.
Who doesn't love Mandalorian?
Everybody's talking about the baby. Or what are they? Grogu?
Yeah.
Groku, Kamehameha.
Spoilers.
I mean, at this point, like what's that doesn't even mean anything, It
If you haven't watched it, it's your fault, right?
It doesn't mean anything. Anyways. Been watching Mando. So
I
decided that I was going to remake The Mandalorian for TikTok. So what do I have a lot of? I have all of the toys from my childhood here. So I have a lot of Star Wars toys. I have Transformers and Power Rangers too. But Star Wars is the main toy that I have. So I decided that I was on the snowy day. I was going to go out to my yard. I had found that the Mandalorian theme song was on TikTok. I did some long pans and had a Bantha toy. Had a Boba Fett toy. I don't have a Mandalorian toy because I'm not. Suffice to say, I'm not buying toys right now. It's not my budget. I gotta buy. I buy big boy toys like video games, and I spend too much money on those. Mandalorian. Right. So I was thinking to myself, okay, have these toys. The joke is that it's going to be these long pan shots. Snowy field. Kind of, the Mandalorian's known for like quiet sets and everybody kind of being still in these big open landscapes. And I was like, there's got to be something interesting here. So I decided that I was going to take a green bean and kind of half it and wrap it in some toilet tissue and have Boba Fett hold it. And because I don't have a Baby Yoda action figure, but he's got to have Baby Yoda. So I wrapped a green bean in some toilet tissue and I stuck it in there. And I was trying to think of an ending to it, and I was like, there's no ending to this. It's just these long shots of, the reveal that he's holding something and it's a green bean wrapped in toilet tissue. So I decided, okay, the next thing I'm going to do is just a video selfie of me taking the green bean in the toilet tissue and just like biting its head off and chewing on it. So that's what I shot. Right now, as of a new TikTok person, that was my first TikTok, it's sitting at 377 views.
Wow. Look at you.
People have watched this video. I don't even have a lot of followers.
People were they had to sit through you showing a snow-covered landscape and eating the end of a green bean.
Yeah.
But they did it.
They did it. So my next thought process is like, okay, that's kind of a taste of, and that's like niche. That's like right in there, that like weird niche. Like that's the kind of stuff I would make on Vine back in the day. So I'm like, okay, people love dancing. Yeah. I have these dogs that are pretty great at things. I'm gonna make a video where my dog dances to the hit song Mambo Number 5. And do a little bit of editing, within it to where he's like multiplying across the screen. You would think to yourself that would be successful on TikTok. Turns out 117 views, which is much lower than my Star Wars Mandalorian green bean eating. So I think that market, like the dancing dog, and I'm using all the right hashtags. I'm getting out there, I'm labeling this up with stuff.
You did the search. You did the research. You figured out what's gonna really, perform well.
Right.
Yeah.
So I kind of took a little break after that, because I was like, okay, something's not right. Like something.
People just aren't showing you love.
People just aren't showing me love. So yesterday I did one of me sitting out back, and playing some of that the same song that whatever his name is playing. Yeah. Same song, 420 Dogface. I had a drink, had an espresso cup in my hand.
Yeah.
And I was sitting there with my dog, and halfway through I kind of took a little drink, mimicking that. Does way better. Right now, I mean, this is yesterday, 143 views right now. I mean, this has been a 24 hours since I shot that, 143 views. That format with that dog worked. I also added in some interesting. I also used the term post-work vibes. I figured that would resonate.
You had the vibes. You had the motivation.
I had motivation.
You're doing your best. You did great at what you were doing, and I think it seems to people like that type of stuff.
Right.
You get a dog. You get vibes. You get motivation. You get affirmation. The world is your oyster at that point. You can do whatever you want to do.
I think if you want to be successful early on, go for a niche market. That's really what I've learned.
Yeah. Go
for a niche market.
I think that's probably that's a good way to, that's very accurate. It's just the whole, also along with that, what you were saying, like you use the same song. Mm-hmm. Did you see where when he used that song and it blew up, that Fleetwood Mac jumped back into the top charts?
Yes.
Like that TikTok made a band that was very, very popular, 40 years ago, 35, 40 years ago, like at their peak, made them jump back into the top 20 charts. Like that's insane.
Yeah.
Like this,
absolutely.
And like people, like younger people, like middle school, high school kids that are on TikTok that obviously probably don't know who Fleetwood Mac is. They don't know that.
They don't know. Yeah, they don't know.
It is that introduced them to, like classic rock, like Fleetwood Mac, and probably kind of was a gateway for them to get to these other, older like 70s, 80s musicians. Mm-hmm. So even that's wild. And these dances, the dances that they're doing on TikTok, like it's just, these songs are blowing up because of TikTok.
Yes.
Like it's almost like you have to have a strategy. Like make a song that people are going to dance to on TikTok, and you're going to sell a whole bunch of records. Like it's just, it's a whole thing that never, like back in the 90s and early 2000s, you put out music, you sold CDs.
Yes.
You made a music video. That was it. Now it's like music video, iTunes, Spotify, have a TikTok dance with it. There's so many other aspects to it now, and TikTok is just huge.
Yes.
And then I see, but like with what you're saying, like these people saw your things and you're using the hashtags. The TikTok algorithm is the most interesting thing to me because it is like so hyper aware. I feel like like I will like one video about something that, let's say, like something that happened in WandaVision. Like there's like one video
thing,
about
right?
Something that we saw in WandaVision, and then I'll close TikTok, whatever. But like that night, I'll get on, and like I'll scroll for a minute, and then it's like this specific conspiracy WandaVision theory that I had that I didn't even I didn't send to anybody, but somebody will have a video with that theory and they'll expand upon it, and it's just like, how does TikTok know these things? Like it is so you like one video and it's just boom, it knows exactly what you want to see.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's a very impressive algorithm to me. Like some of the things I see, I'm like, oh, they know too much about me already.
So you have a very very curated experience based on your likes. I haven't liked anything. I personally.
See, that's when it's fun. You need to get on there and kind of. It takes a minute because at first it's just throwing everying at you.
I much prefer making TikToks than I do watching TikToks. And at this point,
you don't like watching them?
Now here's the thing.
Watching them.
Here's the thing.
Best.
I'm going to walk you through. I'm going to do a review of the app TikTok. This is the official review. Let me call IGN. Yeah. Let me call GameSpot. Let me call Game Informer, Nintendo Power.
Give us a review.
Call Nintendo Power.
Of TikTok.
I'm going to talk you through the bad points first. I'm good. Nintendo Power. I think it's a podcast now. Surprisingly.
Is it? Oh.
Bad TikToks. Things that I dislike.
The cons.
The cons, yes. And these are just premises. Scripted couples comedy. When you are a couple,
absolutely awful,
and you are going in there and you're trying to be comedic, and it's all fake, it comes off really pandering, and it makes me cringe watching it.
It comes off just embarrassing. Yeah.
As somebody that is in the age range and has a wife that is of the same age range of these people making TikToks, I'm like, how did you all spend time on this? Why did you all spend time on this? What is wrong with you?
Yeah.
That's on the cons. Connecting to that, overlaying your own life with a comedy album. Which I have seen where people are literally playing stand-up specials and filming themselves, just like in a situation where it's like some sort of Al Bundy comedy where they're like, "Oh, my wife, she's terrible, and when she washes the dishes, oh man, it's they're not clean."
Yeah. Wait, but can I like chime in on that one?
Yes,
because I agree with you.
Yes.
In many ways on that point.
Yes.
Most of the lip syncing, like stand-up specials playing over, and like they'll act like they're saying it half the time.
Yes.
Like they'll say like what the comedian is saying.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times it's bad. The one that I have enjoyed, though, I have thought was very good. It's a Pete Davidson special playing in the background, and it's him saying, he's like, "I love you, I love you." Shit's kind of catchy. Shit's very catchy. Like it's that, and like they'll lip sync it. That one's hilarious to me.
I have not seen that particular one.
I have laughed at all of those. Like
yes.
They have all been hilarious.
Yes.
But I agree with you. Most of them, you're just lip syncing something somebody else said, and it doesn't work. Like it's just not funny.
Right. Going even further down that rabbit hole.
So that is mostly a con.
Yes. Going further down that rabbit hole. Laughing at other people's TikToks. So people can make a TikTok of something funny and then post a side-by-side of them laughing at the thing.
A duet is what they call it.
Or they call it a duet. And it's, I think, it's like a dance. Like somebody does a dance and the other person does the dance too. And then they all, like, that makes sense to me. And then everybody's doing the dance. They're all duetting the dance. When it's like a funny TikTok somebody made.
Or like a blind react. If it's like a blind react, they're just like, react to this, and they do it. Those are sometimes kind of funny because people are just like, people will make it funny.
It's worse than sitcoms in the 90s and 80s when people had those laugh tracks for everything, and it's like, this is when you laugh. Yeah. I'm like, I don't need, like, it makes me not laugh seeing when you laugh. I don't want to watch you laugh. I don't even want to look at this person.
They do the thing where they tell you to duet it, but it's like, they're like, you're the blue line. And it's like, they'll give you the text, like it's an acting challenge, and you're supposed to act with them. sometimes people are very self-aware and they make it intentionally stupid, and there's a joke with the whole blue line and making you say something. But some of them are very sincere, and it's so hard to watch. It's so hard to watch. And I'm with you. The duet thing is it's very hit or miss,
Yes.
but it's like mostly it's just a big miss. Like
Yes.
it's tough. Some of them are very much like you were waiting for the joke, and then you're like, oh, they're serious. There's not a joke here. This is sincere. Like they really want someone to do this.
Yes.
But yeah, the people that will just post the video and it's like half of it is just them like watching it, not doing anything, and then they'll get like 200,000 views. Why are we allowing these people to exist? Why are they getting the views? Just turn it off.
I don't need to be told.
Scroll.
I don't need to be told.
Yeah.
Next.
I think you're being too critical though.
Like,
I get
okay.
These things suck.
Well, what do you think?
You're being too critical.
I'm a well-researched reviewer on stuff.
But you're not. Here's the thing. You even admitted. You said that you aren't really a TikTok watcher. You haven't given it a fair chance.
I'm getting there.
What I'm saying.
We're at the bad end. We're gonna get to the good end.
You gotta scroll. Okay.
We'll get to the good end.
Maybe I won't. Okay.
We're starting
I'm
bad.
mad at you right now.
Okay. I got two more things in the bad thing.
Right now.
Military weapons.
I'm gonna let it ride.
Military weapons in active war zones. I really don't want to see that. In general, at the shooting range, sure. I really don't want to see you with an anti-aircraft gun trying to take out a plane, and it looks real, and it may not be real, but it looks real. I really don't want that in my life. I'd rather not see that. That is not of my
right.
I don't want to think about all the people that we're killing in the other countries. I don't want to think about that. But I'm just like...
That's fair. That's a totally fair thing to say.
Last one, and this may be controversial, is I have learned about Tick-Tock thoughts. And I feel tricked.
Are you saying like THOU... spell thoughts for me. What thoughts are we talking about?
THOTS.
Okay, yes. That I have something to say about that after you do. You go ahead. Speak your truth, King.
I feel tricked.
Let's hear what you have to say about it.
I feel tricked.
Yes.
Yeah. As a fan of someone who likes old-timey music, like old music from the 50s, like old things, and I'm here to see the people dance. Like that's part of the TikTok. So I expect that there's going to be some sort of like dance situation, and then it's like transition. I guess it is a dance situation, but it is a scantily clad dance situation at that.
Are you talking about the Doja Cat song?
No.
It's like, put your hand
yes.
on my shoulder.
Is that a Doja Cat song? Yeah. I don't even know.
I think so. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. And then it cuts over.
Listen. Oh, boy. Yeah. That I liked like one or two of those, and then my algorithm was just done. My algorithm was totally screwed up for like a week. I liked like one of those, and they had the Bust It challenge, and I liked like one or two of those.
Right.
I was like, that was impressive. And man, oh boy, I had to revive my algorithm because every other one I was like, what are we doing, TikTok? Like, I can't be looking at this in public.
That's my thing. So, it's like you do you. Like I don't have problems with anybody doing their own things. I'm not a prude, but it's cheating.
Hey,
it's like
listen. You're married, so you can't listen.
I mean,
I'm a single man. I can enjoy all of these TikToks.
Yeah.
I feel no guilt, but I will say, like I said, my algorithm was just totally shot. And I definitely was scared to open TikTok in public for like a week and a half before I got the algorithm situation under control.
And that's the main thing for me is it's like, I legitimately like people like doing the cosplay, like people doing that stuff. And I can follow that. Yeah. It's just like it's like a little too real. I don't know. Like I feel like I'm personally invading somebody's space, and every time I see one of those, I'm like, I shouldn't be here. I'm just gonna go.
Mom, come pick me up. Kids are doing drugs. I'm scared.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel.
Yeah. Listen, it's you're right. Like people, and the thing about it is, people will post anything. they have no shame anymore on TikTok. They will just let it all out there. And
I think it's this pandemic,
and
I haven't been aware of that. Obviously, I haven't been aware of the what what are the kids, the thirst, but there is a thirst among people.
The thirst. There is a great thirst. People are definitely what do they call it on Twitter? They're horny on Maine. I think is what they call it on Twitter.
Horny on Maine.
Horny on Maine.
Horny on Maine.
And they are posting whatever they want to post. And you know what? Like, I'm not gonna judge, but you as a married man, maybe you don't want to have that on your For You page.
I'm like nerdy enough that even if like I wasn't married, I would be like,
yeah. You'd be like, I don't know about this.
No.
See, you and I are very different.
Yeah.
See, I don't mind it, but I don't want to look at it in public because people they'd be like,
right.
Oh, so what are you watching there?
Right.
TikTok is still censored. Like, people aren't like on there naked, but it's a little. There's some highly questionable situations going on there.
Right. There's a lot of Michael Ceraing in my life where I'm just like entirely uncomfortable in such experience that I'm just like, no, thank you.
What was the scene in Superbad where McLovin is walking in the hallway and the girl turns around and he was like, it's 12:30, and he just like turns around and walks away.
Yeah, that's me.
Is that you
that's
now
me.
with TikTok?
Yeah.
You're just like, yeah.
Okay. Now we've taken our time to kind of trash it here, so I'm going to tell you about the good TikToks, and these are
Tell me the good things. Yeah,
these are the good TikToks. I mean, these are the good ones. There's no other good ones. Contractors building stuff. Yes. I want to see the video of you like laying down a pool. I want to see you like putting tile in a bathroom. Like, I want to see you fixing a leak. I want to see contractors building stuff.
Have you seen the guy that does can you hit it with a hammer? And I think it seems like he works on houses or things. And he's like, "Hi, I'm here to tell you if you can hit it with a hammer." And he like slams a hammer through a bathroom door.
Yep.
Those are funny. The things you're talking about, like, it's so interesting to see that side of things. I watched a video like 3 times last night of a guy that was like getting a pool cleaned.
Yeah.
Like, it was like super green and dark and gross. And it was just him vacuuming and cleaning this pool. And I was like, that was enjoyable. It had like 2.4 million likes.
Like power washing, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Those things are so interesting. Like, well, just very like random specific jobs.
Yes. And I'm gonna put
wholesome content.
I'm gonna put in here this kind of subcategories of life hacks. There's a lot of good life hacks, like of stuff that I would never use. Like, when it's cold, how do you put on the footies on your wetsuit? And it's like, get hot water poured in your boots, and then you can slip your foot in there. I'm like, that's great.
The life hacks are wild.
I don't know a wetsuit.
Did you see the life hack? And it was like someone cooking a grilled cheese sandwich, and they like. I don't know what they did. They basically they were like, this is a life hack for grilled cheese. And they put the spatula on top of the grilled cheese, flip it, and then hold it with the spatula and then pull the pan back under it.
Yeah.
And I was like, is it that hard to just flip a grilled cheese though? Like, what is this a life hack, or is this just kind of a very unnecessary way to go about doing it, you know?
Yeah. Now the ultimate of this category, and it's so specific, and I love it so much, which is country people tying knots.
I have not ventured into that.
Country people
universe of TikTok.
Heavy Southern accent, tying some knots, and they're explaining to you why you tie the knots for the different stuff. That stuff, I was like, I just need this. This is my social media. I want to watch country people tying knots.
I had that.
And it's like, oh, if you're holding down this thing on your Jeep and you want to make sure that the bungee cords connect. And this one lady did like this bow and then like curled it up. I mean, crazy stuff. That's one of my favorite categories. Moving on, because we got a few here. Beat Saber professionals. And I'm not even sure how they do it.
I have not seen those either. What your For You page is totally different than
mine. It is.
Beat
Saber Professionals. So there's a VR game called Beat Saber, and essentially it's kind of like Rock Band or like Guitar Hero or whatever. But you have these lightsabers,
it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, you hit the blocks to the beat of a tune. But the way that they have these TikToks, yes. the way that they have these TikToks, it looks like they're in the VR with the lightsabers, like in the room. Like, so it doesn't look like they're just, standing in their living room with their VR headset on, waving their hands around. It looks like they're actually doing it, but you can see their full body. And these people are like professionals. And so they're like doing all this crazy stuff and extra moves, like extra Jedi stuff that I was like, what is going on? What is happening?
Okay. So that's wholesome content to you as well. Hashtag wholesome content.
Yes. To kind of go off of my TikTok thoughts that I disagreed with, I was pleasantly tricked when there was, and I added this into complicated cosplay. So it's like a girl doing the dance, and then it's like the transition, and she's an orc, like an orc from World of Warcraft, and I was like, holy crap. And then she did the transition again, and then she was like a night elf from World of Warcraft, and I was like, holy crap. And I'm talking like
some people are really good at that,
like intense cosplay.
Very good.
And I'm like, it would take me all day to shoot this just to get into the right costume and to get into, and I'm sure that it did.
Is it where they like hit the screen?
Yes.
It's like doo, 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 and it's like they hit it a few times and they just like. Those are wild. Those people, the makeup and especially they're very good at what they do.
Yes. So. To go off of my
hashtag wholesome content.
Hashtag wholesome content. To go off of my military weapons in active war zones, I want to put in my addendum. Jet planes flying between each other. There was a TikTok I was watching.
Those give me anxiety.
A guy is in a jet plane riding beside his other buddy in the jet plane, and then another jet plane comes in and goes sideways between them. And I am like,
just anxiety central.
That's cool. I want to see. That's like an impressive maneuver. That's like.
See, it makes me nervous. It's really cool to see, but I'm just like, oh god, I don't know if I can watch this.
Rounding out the list, the final.
You can't watch girls just like doing those, the very scandalous transitions.
No,
I can't watch.
I feel awkward.
A jet fighter plane on the side.
You've never been in a plane that okay, so all of a sudden, all right, they had that Boeing 777 that or whatever, I don't know.
I thought of you.
That lost its engine. I thought
of you when I watched that.
And I was looking at a picture of it. I was looking at a picture of that because it was like all over the news. It was all this stuff, and they're like, we're taking the planes off the service line, and they were showing the engine in flight, and I was like, oh yeah, that's totally what my engine looked like when my plane engine
been there.
Yeah.
Been there.
Been there. And they showed the video from the inside, and everybody's generally being pretty quiet, and I was like, yeah, that's kind of how it is when the plane engine goes out, is everybody's just kind of like.
You don't want to look like a baby. Like, you don't want to look like you think you're going to die.
Yeah, people are like confused / worried. Because there's nothing you can really do.
They know what they're doing.
So you're just kind of waiting. You're either waiting for your death or to land back down. However, I will say it's much easier to land. You can land a plane with no engine. Like you can do it. Like
just coast on in there.
Just coast it. I mean, you need wings. If you lose your wings, you're SOL. But engines,
I think that would be a little bit of an issue.
The last one is art exhibits. I like seeing. I haven't been to an art. I like going to art museums. I like going to any museum. I'm like a big. I like to go to that stuff. And so seeing that stuff on TikTok was nice because I really miss going to those kinds of places which are not open now.
Yeah, that's true. I think that's a big one. I've seen a few of those. I think that I do have some of those on my For You page. It's very wholesome. And it makes you just want to like, I'm so ready for the pandemic to be over and just to be able to go to these places like that and just sit and enjoy things,
Yes. Yes, 100%.
Well, that was a good list.
Yeah,
you seem to have some good wholesome content.
I don't know. I think that TikTok is addictive, and I think it's designed to be addictive, and I don't necessarily have the time for that. I got other stuff to do. I have millions of social media to look at, and I have more pressing matters to attend to. Am I gonna still make some TikToks here and there as like a goof and a gag? Probably.
Just a hoot and a holler, a goof and a gag.
Just a goof and a gag. Am I gonna post those to my Instagram story like every other God-fearing human being in this earth? Yeah, I am. Those will be just
a new post.
Me and my wife always say that the best TikToks. My wife always say that the best TikToks make it to Instagram, and that's just where they live. That we get the cream of the crop We don't have to sift through all the stuff because all the best ones.
But you're like 4 weeks late at that point. It's like 4 weeks later they make it to Instagram.
4 weeks late for what? What am I gonna be in on the conversation of when the TikTok like, you know, like Listen, you know, if you do, you can go see a movie 4 weeks after it releases. You know,
I'm gonna have to just start sending you TikToks when they get big so that you can see the good ones.
What am I going to do with that information? What do you expect me to do with that information?
You won't have to wait 4 weeks to see it.
But then when my wife shows me the TikTok, then she's going to be kind of disappointed because I've already seen it. And then I'm going to look at it and be like, I've already seen that. You know?
Listen.
Then it's like I'm on my high horse, and then give me an IPA, and then I'll complete this, you know, this proto hipster look I'm going for these days.
You've already got the mustache.
I got the stachio. I got the little goatee going on.
You got the jean jacket on.
Yeah, I got my jean jacket on. Yeah. I like my jean jacket.
We've already got a podcast.
Already got a podcast.
You got guitars and a bass behind you. Mm-hmm. So
I have a favorite coffee shop.
Kind of are like the prototype. You are the prototype.
Yeah.
Of hipster right now. I love it.
90s are back. 90s are back. See, here's the thing. Everybody has been thinking about the 80s here recently because Bruno Mars did a few disco songs, and everybody's like back into that 80s mentality where it's like all these like upbeat pop songs. But I think the 90s are really going to come back because everybody's going to leave their bubbles and their things, and they're not going to have any. Like, nobody's going to have any new clothes because we all been wearing sweatpants and whatever for the whole time. And so grunge is going to be a thing again. Yeah. And I think you see that. with Billie Eilish or Eilish or whatever her name is. Eilish, yeah.
You're old.
I am old. I'm.
How do you do, fellow kids?
Hello, kids. It's me. Do you like Billie Eilish? I love Billie Eilish. But she has
not a narc at all.
Hello, kids. She does the like grunge outfits and stuff when she performs, and is I don't know if it's necessarily like 90s grunge, but it's inspired by that. And I think that you're gonna see a lot of that.
Yeah.
You're coming out with more. I think it's funny to hear mumble rap when I'm like, you know, the joke in the 90s was that all the bands that were copying Nirvana were all just like mumbling, and in fact.
Yeah,
I think about the Weird Al song, "Smells Like Nirvana," where he says, "I can't garble zarbles out with all these marbles in my mouth," and then he starts spitting out marbles.
Yeah,
I think about that almost every week.
There was a song by a guy named Todd Snyder. Have you ever heard of Todd Snyder?
I've heard of Todd Snyder. Yeah.
There was a song called "Talking Seattle Grunge Rock Blues." And it has a lot to do with that. You should check it out sometime. It's actually it talks about that with the whole premise was the band was trying to be so like even beyond Nirvana and grunge that they just refused to play their music, and that was their music that they just refused to play it.
Yeah,
that's kind of I'm going off on a tangent with that.
No, that's like an art exhibit.
Proceed. Yeah, it's
that's
like abstract art.
You know, this isn't the greatest song in the world. It's just a tribute. You know.
This is just a tribute.
It's just a tribute. Yeah.
It's just art. Yeah.
That's good.
But it's I think I don't know. God, we've gone off the rails today.
No, I think we've been on the rails. I think you challenged me to this TikTok. It has been
more on the rails than a lot of episodes.
You challenged me to this TikTok thing. I came in, I made 3 TikToks that have done frankly they're doing better than some. One of your videos has like 700 views, but your other ones don't have as many as mine.
Are we throwing shade on my TikTok?
Yeah, I'm throwing shade on your TikToks. Wow. Yeah, listen. By the end of this year, I'm gonna have a TikTok that outperforms your entire profile. That's what's gonna happen. I mean, it's.
Do you think so?
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. In fact,
I dare you. I hope you do.
I need to start like a YouTube channel in which I like try to figure out like scientifically like some sort of like stupid Nathan for you BS where it's like I scientifically try to figure out what the best TikTok is and like unironically go and do that and then like talk about my process. That's what I want.
I mean, is our challenge whoever performs better on TikTok by December 31st? Is that the thing?
Yeah, and I'm going to need updates on that.
We'll have to check back in.
I'm curious how many people are really that interested in, like these trailer parks you're going to, like Yosemite Trailer Park and
We haven't even talked about that. That's where half the pictures that I ended up providing for today and our little background came from was Yosemite. That's the thing. That was the last trip that I had. It's been lockdown. I went back last year in like October and did Yosemite and Monterey, and then came home and just here I've been. I haven't really gone anywhere. So it's been a little wild, man. But yeah, no, I posted a couple travel videos from there. I just don't like, I have ideas of just like dumb, funny videos, but then I'm just like, yeah, but that's a lot of high risk, low reward there. So why,
what's the risk?
Maybe I won't do it.
What's the risk? Here's the thing, and here's
just the absolute embarrassment, just absolute ridicule from my peers.
Here's
just casual things like that.
Here's the advice, and this is what I learned doing the podcast with you, and this is advice that I give freely to everyone to just be like, should I do this? You know what? Just go do the thing. Like, it doesn't have to be perfect.
Do the thing, right?
Last week we strolled in here with kind of half of a podcast idea. And we were like, let's get back to it. And really didn't. We just said, okay, we're going to do it again. And I think the more you do it, the better you get, obviously. But if you are thinking about, maybe I want to go make a TikTok dance, but you got 2 left feet, then just do it. And maybe you'll grow a right one extra,
Just do it.
Just
do it.
Grow a middle foot,
Do it. Do it.
I like to close now the shows. I talk about this in the past tense, but I like to close these shows with a positivity.
Are we done?
Yes. Yeah, we're rounding out.
Are you done talking to me? Are you done talking?
Well, no, I've got one more thing to talk. I've got one more thing to talk about. I want to talk about every episode. At the end of the episode, what are you excited for? And I just want one thing, and why you're excited for it. What are you excited for?
You know what I'm excited for?
What?
The COVID vaccine. I'm supposed to get it hopefully within the next couple of weeks, and I am so excited.
That's right. I
am. Listen, you have no idea how excited I am. Mm-hmm. Once that second dose hits my bloodstream, actually probably 2 weeks after it, because that's when they say it's most effective and you're actually protected. So week and a half, 2 weeks later, I'm still going to wear my mask. I'm still going to be careful.
Yeah.
But I want to go to a restaurant and just sit down and have a beer and just enjoy a meal that I did not have to cook.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's all I want. I just want to go out and not worry that 1, I could get sick, or 2, I could really infect someone else, and just eat a meal that I didn't cook.
Oh yeah.
And be able to see friends, and go see Dixie. I didn't have a Dixie story today. She actually FaceTimed me after our last episode and said, I told you not to bring me up in this podcast. And I said, I didn't. She said, well, technically, yeah, David did. David was the one that brought me up. Yeah. So you're on her list now.
Well, good.
But I want to see Dixie, and I want to see you and Selena, and see people, and just not worry. You know what I mean? I feel like we're getting to that light at the end of the tunnel. Like, in terms of, like, we're seeing progress. We're seeing hospitalizations drop. We're seeing deaths drop. Like, we're moving in the right direction. And I'm just so ready to get there. Like, people say don't wish your life away, but this is like one period of time I wish that we could just, and we're there, and we're out of this COVID world. So the vaccine, that is what I'm looking forward to right now. What are you looking forward to?
I'm of course obviously looking forward to the vaccine, but I didn't prepare anything to say on that subject today. So let me talk about
You're like, I'm not looking forward to the vaccine.
No. What? No, I'm going to go get that vaccine first chance I get, by far. Don't worry about it. That's somebody in my house the other day that inspected windows that was talking about how I don't think I'm going to get the vaccine. And I looked at them like a crazy person. Almost thought about throwing them out the window.
What are you doing?
It's like, go get it.
Yeah. It's like, come on. Yeah.
Anyways.
Whatever.
The main thing that I'm excited for, beyond the COVID vaccine, is WandaVision. It
is so good.
I cannot believe how good that television program is.
Yes.
And frankly, I was kind of done with Marvel after Infinity. What is it? Endgame. That's it. Endgame.
Yeah. We saw that together, didn't we?
We did see that together. Yeah. I was like, okay, I don't need to see everything. I don't really need to see what was it? The one before that I didn't see until like it was free was Captain Marvel. Didn't see that. Didn't really need to see that. I don't really need to see the Black Widow movie. Like I was kind of like, I don't know if I really am interested in Marvel anymore. This show and the premise, it's like they're doing exactly what I want them to do, which is essentially take superheroes and just throw out this like, you don't need this like villain with the minions who's in the evil island and is trying to take over the world. That's boring. We've done that. Hail Hydra, whatever, BS, all that stuff is. This show and the interesting things that they're doing is great. I love it so much. It is like fake television world, and it's like a series of just like explorations into television, and it's playing on that nostalgia factor, but it's also telling an interesting story at the same time. I'm starting to see that trend in the Marvel properties with Endgame, where I thought it was going to be a sequel to Infinity War, which I didn't actually like the Infinity War because it was just like, how many people can we get on the screen? Let's put these people on the screen. Like there didn't seem like there was any plot to me. Endgame was like, we're doing a time heist, and it's this like Ocean's 11, but we're going through time throughout all of our movies to go do stuff.
It was so like just complex but enjoyable type of complex. Like it was like you followed along.
Right.
They showed you exactly what they were doing, but there was so much happening.
Yes. And then
I'm with you on WandaVision.
Yeah. Thor Ragnarok, where it was essentially, okay, we're just going to make a movie called Gladiator Planet and call it a Thor movie. And we're going to have the Thor people in there doing the Thor stuff, and the Hulk's going to be there too. So wait,
did you like Thor Ragnarok? Or
I loved it. It's just but it was.
I thought it was one of the best.
Oh, by far, because it was
of recent years.
It didn't need like
Taika Waititi, like that. He's just I think an amazing director.
Here's the thing: nobody cared.
Just let him do all of the Marvel movies.
Right. Nobody cared about Hela. No, like don't kid yourself and think that you came into that movie you cared about Hela as a villain. No. You cared about Jeff Goldblum, who was the leader of Gladiator Planet. like that's what you cared about that storyline. And literally they just did a little bit
Thompson and all They
did a little bit of Thor around the beginning. They had the the immigrant song playing at the beginning. And they did a little bit at the end. In between, Gladiator Planet.
Yeah.
It's great.
It was fun. I think Marvel, if you look at the lineup coming up, it's insane. You have this, you have, the Winter Soldier and Falcon, and then you have the Loki show, Spider-Man, Doctor Strange, another Thor movie. Like the lineup is insane. And it looks like they're going with a darker kind of phase. Like it's going to be a dark phase, I think. It seems like it's going to be more gritty and like kind of creepy at times from what I can see. And the whole multiverse thing with Spider-Man, like it looks like it's going to be fun and kind of a switch up from what they were doing, which I think is exciting.
I think they're finally in a place.
I saw somebody say, you go ahead.
I think they're in a place where they can actually make interesting films rather than just like they don't need to expand their universe and continue the universe storyline. They really if they like are like, we're not doing anything like Thanos again, like we're not doing this like in credit roll, like an in credit teaser is fine or whatever, but like this like big thing that I don't need the bill, like we've seen that.
Well, I think they're gonna bring X-Men in though. I'm fairly sure.
Well,
X-Men are gonna kind of
want
into this universe
is an X-Men TV show, just like a X-Men doing their X-Men stuff, like the cartoon from the 80s. Cool. And there's rumors. There's rumors about the Black Panther director maybe doing a show for Disney Plus. That's not Black Panther.
That'd be cool.
Ryan Coogler.
That'd be pretty cool.
And
I mean, there's so much they're doing right now.
I'm curious if that's going to be X-Men, because X-Men's all about diversity and all that stuff, and like about culture and about it's probably the best. X-Men is probably the best Marvel property, and I mean that. I mean that Spider-Man is probably second. I think X-Men is the best. Their movies.
I
think about all of the things. The movies weren't that great. Okay, now here's the thing. There were movies that were great.
Ruined them.
There were movies that were great.
They weren't bad. This is the thing. I think the Disney MCU movies were so good, and for the most part, that the Fox X-Men movies were good, but they just were not anywhere. They were not on the same level. I think.
I think
with the storylines, and it was rushed. It just seems so like rushed to
I
me.
I think that they just really, I think they really screwed up in some aspects. Where I love, okay, so like great movies. Let's talk about great X-Men movies. First Class. First Class is a great X-Men movie. Like that movie is like,
I thought it was pretty good.
I think it's great.
It's one of the better ones, I think.
Now let's talk about
I thought Days of Future Past was my favorite, I think, in my opinion.
Days of Future Past is a
I thought that was great.
fantastic X-Men movie. That
I
is
really enjoyed that one a lot.
And you know what was good, and you know what people don't talk about and say it's bad, but nobody's actually watched it, is X-Men Apocalypse.
That movie sucked.
That movie was great. That movie was
great. Was terrible.
It was excellent.
They rushed it. That could have been like the Apocalypse could have been way cooler and less boring. The superhero or the character in general was terrible. Mm-hmm. It was such a boring supervillain.
Whatever. Yeah.
That could have been the most powerful villain of all time.
Yeah.
And it was just like, yeah, we're gonna wipe it out in one movie. Like, you're gone. We're just gonna have freaking what's her name? Sophie Turner. We're gonna have a Stark daughter come out of nowhere and just eviscerate him. Like, come on, man. That could have been like that movie. They could have set him up like they did Thanos. Like that could have been like over the course of several movies, end credits going up to this, and then 2 to 3 part movie with him defeating and killing some. I don't know.
Here's the thing: X-Men villains are just there to serve Magneto. And his storyline
is kind of.
I think that
Fassbender as Magneto is incredible.
Yeah,
I love it. I think that if they somehow bring X-Men into the MCU now, like I need Fassbender. Like, I need him to be Magneto.
The villains of
McAvoy, both of them.
Oh yeah, McAvoy's great. Yeah, the villains of those movies are not that great, but Magneto is great, and all the villains work with Magneto and move his plot forward as a quote unquote villain. And so like I don't really care about Apocalypse. It's weird that Oscar Isaac had to shave his head for that, but that was Oscar Isaac. That's funny to me.
Yeah, it is weird. You don't think about it.
Yeah.
But the thing with Fassbender and Magneto, the more I look back at the things, like, was he really wrong about most of the things that he was passionate about? Was he really the bad guy?
No, I mean that was a great bad guy. That's like a great.
Yeah, it's like he's a relatable. Like you can kind of like you have empathy. Like you see, and I think him as that character is like just so. There's so many possibilities I think they have, especially now that Disney has acquired that. Like, I would love to see that somehow expanded upon in this universe. But
well, that's why him and Professor Xavier team up, is because they both like intrinsically want the same thing. They just do it too.
They are friends. Like they continuously to call themselves. They're like, hey, old friend. Like they care about each other. But it's like wild that he's just like, because is he really that evil? Or is he just doing things that the X-Men are like, we probably should stop him from doing that? Like, he's not necessarily trying to, like, destroy the world, I guess. No. I don't know. He just... It's a crazy thing.
I agree.
But to what you're saying, WandaVision, the original point, I'm with you. I'm very excited. What do we have, 2 episodes left?
2 episodes, yeah. Yeah.
And
we've been watching them on Saturday mornings, just getting a little bagel, getting a little coffee, get a little WandaVision. It's nice.
You've been watching them on Saturdays? I can't wait that long, man. Friday, once I'm done with work, I got up a couple mornings before I did my work. I was like, it was like 6:30 in the morning, and I'm like watching WandaVision.
Man. So you know how big of a Star Wars fan I am, right? You know how big of a Star Wars fan? I waited until it was 4 episodes into The Mandalorian this season to even start watching.
That's some willpower, because I could not have done it. I couldn't do it. And here's the thing. I saw people saying WandaVision is better than The Mandalorian. And at first I was like, no, I agree. I love Mandalorian. I thought Mandalorian was incredible. I am more on the WandaVision train at this point than I was with Mandalorian.
Yeah, I think that as a TV show and as for design, for scripting, for the idea, WandaVision is probably better than The Mandalorian. It's hard to judge that stuff because like they have been doing Marvel stuff for years and years. Yeah. And Disney's trying to find its footing of what they want Star Wars to be. Yeah.
But I'm so glad Jon Favreau is doing Mando. I love Jon Favreau. He's like one of my favorite directors, so I think that it's got a bright future too. But Disney Plus in general is just killing it right now. Like these shows are incredible. We could nerd out for a long time, so we probably should.
Maybe another time we talk about
maybe
Disney
another
Plus.
episode we can
give
talk
our
about
reviews of Disney Plus. Watch
Yeah.
the entirety of the Muppet Show. For today, I believe that is it for the podcast. Another one in the books, my friend. It's good talking with you. It's always good seeing you.
Yeah, man. Absolutely.
You can check out the show on a bunch of different podcast services: Apple, iTunes, Google, Spotify, Stitcher, Radio Public, TuneIn. I'm just
worldwide.
I feel like I'm making up stuff now, but I'm not. We're
all over the place.
We're all over the place. You can watch us live every Wednesday at 5. We're doing this on Twitch. We are sometimes in the chat, sometimes we're not. We're upgrading our bit every day so that we are have a better stream. We're not streamers. We're just dreamers.
We're working on it. This is only week 2.
Not streamers, just dreamers.
We're trying to get there. Just streamers. We're gonna get there though. Every week should probably be an improvement from the last. So we'll get there. We'll build upon what we have.
And
we got to get back into it.
This will be on YouTube afterwards. You can catch up there. You can listen to the podcast regularly. You could get your AM radio. We're on channel 700. And just kidding. No, we're not.
You can keep up with our shenanigans. You can follow Dave at
Dave Chaffins, and you can follow Austin at
Oko _photo. Oko photo.
Oko photo.
And photo.
Here's a great thing that you should do is you should go on iTunes, and even if you don't have iTunes, like you're not an iPhone person, go on iTunes, leave us a review. That would really help out the show.
We'd really appreciate it.
We would really appreciate it. It would mean a lot to us. Say something nice. Give us 5 stars. That would really make my day. That always makes my day when I see a good review in the show, especially when we're starting it back up again. Going for kind of a things are new, things are old, things are something borrowed, something blue, and something. It's a wedding joke.
We were close.
I was close
probably
enough.
Not too far off there.
Yeah. And as for any other information, you can always go to the link in the description for the podcast episode. And with that, Austin, why don't you tell me the ending of the show?
Yeah, from holler to highway, we've got you covered. 6 ways to Sunday.